Freedom. These young Berliners cried out for it a few years ago. Today, protest. A squatters' camp in the rubble of the Berlin Wall. Their world torn apart. Freedom wasn't meant to be like this. A common reaction in the West to such disorder is to ask, can't the world be organized to prevent this happening? What does this freedom really mean? Friedrich von Hayek grew up in a world that was also to be torn apart. Austria and Hungary shared a great empire. Vienna, where Hayek was born, was a centre of learning, abuzz with intellectual and artistic inquiry. But 19th century empires and their privileges were torn apart by the Great War. Hayek was sent to the Italian front. It was a miserable time for a bookish boy. On his return, Hayek chose to study law and economics. The collapse of the empire had kindled an interest in issues of society. Then, as now, the coffee houses of Vienna were meeting places for more than idle chatter. After the Great War, they hosted students actively encouraged to take part in broad intellectual debate. Hayek was fascinated by psychology and dabbled in anatomy, biology and botany. He also loved theatre, music and dancing. As a boy, Hayek had been steeped in a scholarly community where ideas were part of everyday life. His family's academic interests were in the natural sciences, but Hayek's real interest continued to move to social science. Like young people in any age, Hayek was anxious that society's problems might be solved. Hayek had returned home to find a new nation, Austria alone, in the process of inventing itself. There was a new parliament. Laws, governance and finances were being rebuilt from the remnants of the imperial past. One of the architects of the new nation was Ludwig von Mises, a brilliant technical and theoretical economist. Von Mises invited Hayek to work with them at the Chamber of Commerce in Vienna. Through a series of private seminars held here, Hayek was introduced to a unique intellectual heritage, classical liberalism. Ideas rooted in the 18th century Scottish Enlightenment, ideas which concentrated on the role of the individual in society. The logic of this worldview was to become Hayek's life's work.
Social theory begins with the discovery that there exists orderly structures which are the product of the action of many men, but are not the result of human design.
A key to this insight is that knowledge in any society is scattered among many private individuals who make private plans based on private knowledge. Martin knows how to play his accordion. His partner, Helmut, knows the tunes.
Da winkel kurz und da winkel lang und da winkel mit Drucken auf der Bank und da winkel eng und da winkel weit mit einem Sommertee und Leute, die mir freut, jo.
Making music here today involves many hidden decisions, where to sing and when and why, and all the other decisions involved in dealing with events as they happen. Herman's late again. The entertainment creates quite a stir on the street. Individual action, the classical liberals stressed, creates things greater than any one person can anticipate. It happens through voluntary cooperation in a complex world. That complexity is a reason for not planning turns on its head the common opinion that because society is complex it must be planned. From his home, Helmut usually takes a tram into town. The knowledge of many people is coordinated to build and run a tram. And it's not only knowledge about things that's dispersed among us. Helmut has absorbed musical ideas, his teachers' skills and the genius of composers. An array of ideas and experiences are implicit in endless chains of cooperating people, coordinating things. Can any central planner really know all that's needed to produce the hundreds of different types of sausage the Viennese eat? The classical liberals noted that no central planner can calculate everyone's individual needs and desires. Only voluntary cooperation can coordinate the dispersed knowledge of many individuals to create greater ends. The complex voluntary society of the classical liberals offered something else. Each individual in this American shopping mall has opinions, values, aspirations and motivations known only to them. It is economic choice based on the right to own things, private property, that allows us to express these other human freedoms. By being able to choose what to buy, we're free to decide what's important to us. This freedom is matched by private traders' freedom to sell goods made by private suppliers. But what if the book is of a sensitive political nature? How long would freedom of expression last if paper and ink were monopolized by the state? Buying Jewish history books is allowed here, but they would have been banned in Soviet Russia. Such freedoms do not, says Hayek, lead to a life driven by materialism.
Economic values are less important to us than many things, precisely because in economic matters we are free to decide what to us is more or less important.
Money, said Hayek, is an instrument of freedom because it opens up an astounding range of choice to everyone. To be controlled in our economic pursuits is to be controlled both in what we can have and how we can think. Hayek was to find the world was becoming unsympathetic to these classical ideas. In the 1920s and 30s, the Russian socialist experiment was intended to ensure everyone's needs were satisfied. Central planners dreamed of a world where large-scale production would do this efficiently. The world of individualism was to be superseded by the world of the collective, and not only in Russia. The London School of Economics has always been a place of fervent discussion of new ideas. It was specifically established to research practical social concerns. Its students were to involve themselves in hard thinking about politics and society, and to have influence among intellectuals.